These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hello, and welcome to this year's Youth of the Year celebration, hosted by the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club. My name is Christy Cowan.
And my name is Tracy Lane. Christy and I are honored to serve as co-chairs for this year's Youth of the Year event. Tonight, we're showcasing the amazing young people who are part of the club's teen leadership program, including our three impressive Youth of the Year candidates, Dayanara, Jack, and Amy.
Our theme for this celebration is hope and impact. I serve on the Mid-Peninsula Club's board of directors, and through that work, I've witnessed how the club brings hope into the lives of young people. Our staff sees the best in our kids and helps to provide services they need, whether that's academic help, mental health support, or even just having someone to talk to. Tonight, listen for the sounds of hope that you'll hear in the voices of these young people, and know that you're helping support those dreams by being part of our Youth of the Year celebration right now.
Tonight's celebration will also demonstrate the impact that the Boys and Girls Club is making right here in our own backyard in San Mateo County. Last summer, my family volunteered in helping the club distribute food to hundreds of families who showed up each week to receive nutritional support. I can tell you that the impact of this club extends well beyond the traditional role of providing top-notch after-school care. The impact runs deep and wide through our community, and each of you is helping to expand that impact by tuning in this evening.
Thank you for spending the next hour with us. We think you'll be inspired, and we hope you'll be moved to support the club in helping broaden its reach to serve more youth in San Mateo County.
So, before we meet our amazing Youth of the Year participants, I'd like to introduce Evan Jones, the Executive Director of the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club, who will tell us more about how the club benefits our community.
Thank you, Christy and Tracy, for your service to our kids as co-chairs of our 2022 Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year celebration. Tonight, you will all hear from three of our longtime club members who have grown up in our club. On average, these young adults have been members of our Boys and Girls Club since they were 8 years old. I can even say I had the privilege of helping Jack learn how to play basketball when he was a sixth grader in our basketball league. We are so proud of them and thankful to all of you and all of our other funders for allowing us to fulfill our mission of taking all youth, especially those who need us most, and helping them reach their full potential as caring, responsible, productive citizens. People ask what we do here at the Boys and Girls Club. Well, it might be easier if I told you what we don't do, but I'll give it a shot. Imagine a place where kids can work on being academically successful, living healthy lifestyles, and learn how to exhibit good character and be leaders. A place where kids are safe to be kids and grow into the caring, responsible, productive adults our society needs more of. A place where you are fed when you are hungry and even clothed when you grow out of your shoes. A place where each year, Uncle Bob and Aunt Rita and other donors like the Burlingame Rotary and the Good Tidings Foundation make sure every kid gets a gift at Christmas. Where you can work on your jump shot and dream of being Steph and learn about Martin Luther King and the importance of Lunar New Year. A place where you are exposed to all the great possibilities for your future and nurtured by people from your community who understand what it's like for you and your family in their day-to-day struggles. This is the Boys and Girls Club. And to be honest, I'm sure I miss some of the amazing things that happen at our club every day. Oh, did I mention our teens help San Mateo County have one of the highest census response rates in the country? That as part of the Allie Rose Cullinane College and Career Success Program, our teens helped register people to vote and worked with the CDC this past summer on a first of its kind rapid community assessment, looking at why young people of color were hesitant to get vaccinated. For the members of our College and Career Success Program, the club is a college counselor, therapist, snack bar, and an employment program. Our kids go on to do great things. While 96% of them are defined as low income, we see them as opportunity youth who, with the right watering and lots of sunshine, will grow to be the future leaders we need. In fact, our Youth of the Year from 2018 just got her first job as an analyst with the early stage venture capital fund, Toyota Ventures, where she's helping invest in green energy solutions. I don't know about you, but a place where kids come in lacking resources and come out trying to save the planet sounds like the kind of place I want to be a part of. There are so many more of these stories to tell, but for now, I will let the kids speak for themselves. A special thanks to Mona Shaw, our development director, for putting all of this together, and to all of you for being a part of our community that will do whatever it takes for our kids to be caring, responsible, productive citizens.
The motto for the Boys and Girls Club is, whatever it takes to give every kid a chance. At the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club, these aren't just empty words, they're a commitment from our staff to our members. Before we get a chance to meet some of our incredible staff, I want to share a brief story from the early days of the pandemic that speak to this commitment. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty in early 2020, before there were vaccines, treatments, and widespread testing, our staff exemplified this commitment to our youth by working in person at the learning hubs we set up during the school day. They provided much needed academic and emotional support for the most vulnerable kids in San Mateo County, for those kids who could not be home and had nowhere else to go during the day. The Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club is successful for its members because of the personal bond between staff and our youth. Many of our staff come from the community we serve, and because the staff represents the kids, they're able to build trust with our members. This sense of familiarity helps the kids get through the challenges they face every day. And now, let's get to meet some of our amazing staff. I'm sitting here with Joe Egan, our Director of Operations, and Miguel de Trinidad, our Director of Youth Programming. And I have a couple questions for you guys. So, Joe, you have been part of the Boys and Girls Movement for a remarkable 50 plus years. You started as a first grader in the Boys Club in San Francisco, and you are still part of the movement. We would love to know the impact the club has had on you in your life.
At the time when I was a kid starting at the club, it was a boys club, and it gave me a place to go to get away from a home that wasn't conducive to growing up as a child. Staff at the club always gave me something to do. As I got older, the club was the first place I was able to get a job, people I can go talk to when I was having a rough day, a rough time. They would even have me stay late. I'm talking about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just knowing that it would be rough to go back home at that time because things were not smooth. Left to go to college and came back and said, I need to do something to give back. And I remember the club giving me a safe place to grow, a safe place to branch out, to help people. And I started working at the club and have been there ever since as a paid professional for over 35 years. And I still giving back. And one of the best things about it is I've been here so long that I get kids I work with, I get their kids. So I'm seeing generational saying, please, thank you. And tell my kid what you told me so they stay on the straight and narrow too. And that's what the club gave me growing up, was a chance to know that I can help other people the same way they helped me as a kid.
Miguel, you walked into the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club in San Mateo as a 6-year-old, and you're still here, which is so amazing. I know you have so many memories as a kid, and you have maybe even better memories working with staff. Tell us all about working with staff and what keeps you at the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club.
Being able to be a part of the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club, I've been able to have a lot of opportunities in different fields. And I think one of the things that always gets me an opportunity to give back is the fact that those opportunities are there for our members. And being able to navigate our members and to put them in positions in which they're able to be a part of. I'm really excited about different opportunities we're able to give them. I'm excited about being here. This place is just fun. It's always been fun, and I enjoy it. It's been my happy place. It's been a place where I've learned and grown, and an opportunity to teach. And that's allowed me to move forward, not only personally, professionally, but I've made some really good friends here as well.
And we've been lucky enough to be around long enough to actually hire former members as staff. So that's a great feeling, going and asking the kid, they're now staff. So I remember when I was doing what I'm telling the kids not to do now. And do you know what? Oh yeah, it's I'm sorry for being bad is what they would always say. And it's like, you weren't bad, you were being a kid, and now you're learning that's why we were, doing and saying what we were doing and saying. And now you get the chance to use that experience and tell the kids, yeah, they did that to me, and I'm doing it to you.
And also too, that's the rewards right there. When we get to go back and everything comes in full circle. And I'm really excited with my current position, being able to support our members as well as our staff now. So I'm excited about those opportunities.
Thank you so much, Joe and Miguel, for taking the time to speak with me and let our viewers know the amazing work you both do. Most importantly, thank you for doing whatever it takes to give every kid a chance. That is our motto, and you both and our staff exemplify that motto every single day. You show up to work, and you're giving the at-risk kids of San Mateo County a chance for a better life. So we applaud you and thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Isabel. I've been very, very fortunate to have been a part of the Boys and Girls Club since I was a freshman in high school. At the time, I wasn't really sure what I would be doing with my life or how I wanted to pursue my education and my career. But throughout the 4 years of my high school experience, I've been fortunate to have been part of Keystone, which really excelled my leadership abilities and just aspirations for the world more broadly. From there, when I graduated from high school, I was heavily supported by the staff and the board and the entire club community when applying to college. And I was very lucky to have gotten a full scholarship to NYU, where I just graduated cum laude with a degree in environmental studies. Now, my environmental aspirations and passions have really been stemmed from many generations before me, but the opportunity to go to school, be supported by the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club as I jumped from country to country has been an incredible experience and really pushed me to think a lot about what I wanted to do with a degree in environmental studies. So upon graduating from NYU last year, I started working at a family office where I got introduced to venture capital, and I was able to start bringing together my climate background and environmental passions into venture capital. And then shortly after, I was very lucky to be part of the founding investing team at Toyota Ventures, where I am working on the climate fund to help Toyota reach its goals for carbon neutrality. So I'm really thankful for the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club for the fact that throughout this entire journey, through every twist and turn in my education and searching for my career goals, that I've always had individuals and a whole community to support me as I figure it out, as I look for people to connect with to really understand what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. And so I'm really excited to continue with the movement of Mid-Pen and really give back to the next generation and keep supporting Youth of the Year, because I'm really excited to see what this next generation has in store. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. And we're so proud of all of your achievements and how far Youth of the Year has propelled you. And I'm really excited to hear from this year's batch of candidates. And I know that you all will be inspired by their speeches and will be able to imagine the places they'll go after having this experience and this support from the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club. So please sit back and prepare to hear some amazing speeches from exceptional young people right here in our own backyard. I know you'll enjoy it.
Last year, I stood here and I told you that when young people are hungry and are worried about when their next meal is going to come, they're at higher risk of developing anxiety and depression. And I'm back, a college freshman, telling you that that is no less the truth now than it was before. Being in college, I've become ever more aware of the impact of food insecurity on learning, emotional, and physical well-being. Because how can anyone expect you to perform academically, perform physically, and be mentally stable when you're starving? Everyone deserves the right to access affordable and healthy meals. For many elementary school and middle schoolers attending Boys and Girls Club programs across the country, their last meal of the day is the food they receive at the Boys and Girls Club. And as great of a resource as that is, in trying times like these, in the midst of a pandemic, where do these children and their families turn to get the food that they so rightfully deserve? At UC Merced, the school that I attend, we have what we call the Bobcat Pantry, which is a pantry that us students can go to and get need-based items and healthy foods for the rest of the semester at no cost to us, which is very similar to the Second Harvest partnership with the Bayshore Elementary School that has been feeding my community for the current pandemic and way beyond that. And again, I want to just reiterate how grateful I am as a benefactor. But again, it is but a Band-Aid on a very gaudy wound that we have barely addressed properly. I have lived in a 5-mile radius my entire life. I have gone to the Bayshore Elementary School. I went to the middle school and it was still there. And I've been going to the Duluth Boys and Girls Club for my entire life. So when I tell you that there are at least 4 different fast food restaurants within less than a mile of each other that all take EBT, I'm not lying. See, I point this out because food insecurity isn't only about not having food, but it's about not having access to healthy food. And in a low-income community like mine, it's very easy to get sucked into what you can afford and what's closest to you. That's why I want to become a child psychologist so that I can help educate youth on the very real consequences and detriment that food insecurity has on your mental and emotional well-being, and to hopefully educate my community leaders into seeing that food insecurity not only affects you physically, but does have real detriment when it comes to development and just growing as a person in general. And with that work, or through that work, I hope to bring very healthy options to my community, whether that be from a grocery store or a farmer's market, that my community peers, my community members don't have to worry about paying an arm and a leg to get to or an arm and a leg to afford.
Throughout the 7 years I've been in the Boys and Girls Club, it slowly became very apparent to me that there's a lack of communication between the government and the residents in my community. This was a significant problem, especially since many in our community rely on financial support from the government, especially over the course of the pandemic. Many miss out on being subsidized and the chance to participate in policymaking because of the lack of communication. This issue of civic engagement became very relevant to me during the 2020 Census Ambassador program that I've had the pleasure to participate in during the summer of my freshman year. It gave me the opportunity to directly contribute back to the community that raised me. This specific program gave me insight to the inner workings of government programs and the importance of communication. We were tasked to research about the census and display the information that we found to the families in the club. In my research, I was shocked. I was shocked to find the statistic that showed the level of magnitude the government program had, yet how little the community participated in it. I discovered in 2010, in the 2010 census, there was a significant undercount, meaning many people were not accounted for. In this case, it was over 16 million people. That is nearly 5% of the population. And it was mostly affecting immigrant minorities, which our community comprises mostly of. This finding was later proven to me when I presented this information to the families of the club. I realized that many of them didn't even know about the existence of the census, let alone how to participate. This is an ongoing trend through multiple government programs that I've advocated for. When working with the CDC, trying to reach out to hard to reach places in our community about the vaccine, or when I facilitated a seminar for the presidential election, I came to the conclusion that much of the information was readily available in our community, but only if they sought it. And that much of the information that they did have was very surface level. In the upcoming 5 years, though I personally may not have the capacity to single-handedly fix this communication problem between the government, I can do my best. I can do my best to participate in more of these events and programs to spread information and awareness. I am honored to be a part of the lucky few to be nominated as the Youth of the Year. And as such, I'm given the responsibility to not only advocate for change, but also highlight the things that do work, namely the projects that were made to inform the community about current events. I know that many people, including several family members, benefited greatly from this. With the responsibilities of a Youth of the Year candidate, I do expect for the Boys and Girls Club to continue to act like a bridge, to continue to provide more leadership programs, such as that of the Census program to recruit eager members, and to train potential club advocates. There will be more important government programs in the next 5 years, and I believe it is our job to spread the word of it. I believe in teen advocacy, and I believe that the power it has. And if the government isn't willing to make attempts to reach out to our community, then I believe it is our responsibility to do so instead. Thank you.
The pandemic has hit young people in Daly City a lot more than others. Because for many of us in public school, we're suffering the ramifications of this prolonged pandemic. Our students are falling further behind, prevented access to college, career, and career technical education resources that we were already lacking in to begin with. One of the most humbling moments in my life was when I discovered the importance of scholarships. For me, scholarships offered a pathway to private school education and a myriad of career resources. That year, I applied to Sacred Heart and Drew High School in San Francisco. Ultimately, my parents decided it was best for me to attend a local public school. I couldn't understand why my parents made that decision, and I spent my entire freshman year resenting the lack of opportunity and bare minimum education I faced. I felt like I had a chance to explore an opportunity I never thought students like me would be offered or could even afford. I'm a junior now, and in this pandemic, as a person of color and as a public student, it has helped me flip my mindset about academic inequality and systemic oppression. When I used to compile reasons why I should have applied to private schools, I could have questioned why there even was such a huge academic gap between private and public schools, and why there isn't more attention drawn here. It's not about me deserving to get into a private school, but instead me asking, what makes public schools in the Bay Area low performing? And why did I feel like I needed to attend private school just to see a future for myself? To answer, I wanted to bring up what I've learned from my involvement with the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club and our COVID-19 Rapid Community Assessment. Going to a private high school and or living in a suburban environment almost automatically creates better outcomes for students and families. For public schools and communities like our Bayshore neighborhood, we don't have accessible testing or access to affordable healthcare. Now, in comparison to private schools, they're able to go to remote learning if they wished, present higher vaccination rates, and easier access to testing. The data we've uncovered from the RCI assessment clearly showed that Black, Indigenous, and people of color have traumatic distrust against the medical system, which also affects their hesitancy around vaccinations. Now, this is important to consider, especially now in our current state. These are just some of the current examples of generational trauma and anxiety flowing through our communities of color. With all this in mind, I imagine a world in which minority-based communities get to decide their future without any limits. Because it's not just important, but crucial for us to have access to resources such as increased district funding, representation in government, mental and physical services, scholarship opportunities, and much more. These resources help ensure our BIPOC communities a future where financial, educational, and environmental barriers are lifted from their shoulders and they can finally embark on a hopeful path to their futures. Thank you.
Wow. I'm just amazed that kids here at our Boys and Girls Club got to work with the CDC, Danny.
Sorry, public speaking makes me nervous. So
right?
I'm so impressed by watching all three of our, finalists make it there and get in front of us and, with ease and just talk to us so casually. Like, it's very impressive. Very, very impressive.
And from the heart, too, right? Just straight from the heart. This is what they're passionate about. And a lot of the programs that they talked about, we designed with the kids. It wasn't us telling them what's good for them. We do some of that. You have to with kids. You have kids. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But they said we needed to do something about vaccine hesitancy. And I was kind of blown away. Like, okay, what do you guys want to do? 3 months later, we're partnered with scientists at the CDC. Somebody said that they were talking about us in the White House. Kids from Daly City, San Mateo, Millbrae being talked about by the CDC during a pandemic.
Wow.
I mean, I'm just blown away by the talent that we have in the organization. And with the help of everyone here tonight, we can do more of that next year.
Yes. I mean, the talent that we have within this organization, it's unbelievable. But with that talent, like every single talent needs a little bit of nurturing, right? And so we have incredible staff here that they go above and beyond, like you're speaking on. They do anything they can to make sure that they give the best opportunities for all these kids.
Right. So tonight, we're hoping that you all can help us hit our goal of $300,000. Wow, Jill and Tom Pulley just came in with $20,000 off the bat. We love to see that from the Pulleys. And you can give by texting MIDPEN, MIDPEN, to 41444.
That's MIDPEN 41444.
Perfect. So please join us in helping create the next generation of caring, responsible, productive citizens. In this time we live in, we need more of those.
Definitely.
We need more of those, right? If you want to heal, we need more. We have a lot of hope for these kids. Their aspiration is only limited by the support that we can give them.
That's right.
And so we're seeing more support come in. Thank you to Bob McSweeney, the 1500s. That's amazing.
Yeah, we got the Fritz coming in with the big donation. We appreciate you guys. The Slavits, wow, can't believe that. $15,000. We really, really appreciate your donation. You're making a huge difference in so many kids' lives, and you're affecting change within our community, within our backyard, and like it does not go unnoticed.
And as I'm going to announce this here publicly, but my wife and I are expecting a son in April.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm so glad to be part of the Boys and Girls Club because I know that it's not just my kid. His life is not going to be just his own. He's going to be affected by all the other kids around him he interacts with throughout his life. And we're creating a slew of caring, responsible, productive kids in the club right now. You heard from 3 of them. That's a taste. That's a amuse-bouche. We need to have you guys in for tours to see the hundreds of kids we work with every day.
That's right. They're just the tip of the iceberg, and there's so many talented kids that come here on a daily basis, and they're trying to change their lives. They're trying to change their situations and their background. They're trying to create a future for themselves, and they cannot do that alone. They do that with the help of the wonderful staff that we have here, and they do that with all the support that we have within this community and all the donors like you guys giving out, like the Tosh family. Thank you so much for your donation. Sweet, Gould, we really, really appreciate you guys.
Wow, that's amazing. It's great to see the donations rolling in here, and we're up to almost $50,000, and I think we're going to really hit this $300,000 mark. I think you said something just now, Danny, I want to come back to. We don't really think of kids as young as first graders making choices to better their own life, right? But our club kids usually choose to come. They make the choice to come here to be exposed to academic success, good character and leadership, healthy lifestyles. They want to be here. And as a former club kid, you kind of speak to like making that choice to invest in yourself, right?
No, of course. And it starts with making that investment in yourself, right? You want to do the right things, and you want to have a safe environment to go to. You know, my parents threw me and my brothers into the Boys and Girls Club when I was 5 years old. And it was just an opportunity, or it was an environment for us to get to that we didn't have to worry about, all right, nobody's home.
Right.
We have a academic background, a staff on board that's willing to help us with our homework and point us in the right directions. When my parents were both working full time and didn't have necessarily the time after school hours to be around as much. So we had the club that we kind of relied on in our community that supported them, that allowed people like myself to kind of grow and try to become something successful.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about all of the great programs your children are enrolled in now and how much that frankly costs, right?
Yes.
And so for working families here in San Mateo County, one of the counties that costs the most to live in, to have those opportunities for free, because it's for free.
Right.
Well, it's free with your support. That's what we're trying to do to give this $300,000. That's just amazing, right?
It's very, very amazing. And speaking of support, I'm sorry, I got to give a special shout out right now. Layla, what I need you to do right now is tell Lyndon to take mom's phone and text Mid-Pen at 41444. All right, Layla, take care of that for me.
It's a family affair here.
It takes all of us. It takes the village.
It takes all of us.
Love you guys.
Wow, Gail and Danielle Simon in at $50,000.
Oh, wow.
That is just amazing. We're almost halfway to our goal. I think one of the things that we think about at the club is not just the opportunities that Gail and Danielle and so many other donors are creating with this, but what are these kids going to give back to us?
Yeah.
Because I just heard from a young woman I've had the privilege of knowing since she was a freshman in high school, who's now investing in green technology.
Yes.
That, we have a club alumni investing in green technology. And I tell you what she pulled on me, she took me to coffee and she bought the coffee for me. She put the credit card out before I could even, that's the kind of kids we're producing. And she also is trying to help save the planet.
That's right.
So I'm telling you, there's a place where your parents felt safe to bring you and your siblings, right? So that they could do what they had to do. And here in Mid-Penn is working with the CDC, and we have alumni working at Toyota Ventures investing in, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, she's investing in how to grow rice in salt water.
Wow.
That's amazing to have a place like that right here in the backyard for people to invest in.
Yes.
And I think that we should get more investment going, texting Mid-Penn to 41444. We're almost halfway to our goal. Thank you to David Gold. It's amazing. Thank you for your gift. Thank you to the Gibsons. It's a great gift. The Knicks, Jeff, our great board chair, who also makes a mean paella. For those of you who live in Burlingame, go find him. He makes a great paella.
It's so cliche to say, but like our children are our future. But they are also changing our future as well, right? So with all the great things that these kids are doing and that they're aspiring to be, we have to do everything we can to make sure we nurture them and help them along the way so that they can create a better future for us.
Right, and the way we do it here at the club, I think we're in our clubhouse up in Daly City. They're learning about Lunar New Year's right now, and so there are all these fun project-based artifacts where they learn about something. They have to produce an artifact. And so there's all these tigers because it's the year of the tiger.
Yes.
It's a year of hope and going big or going home. And we're already at $209,000.
Wow.
So we're going big.
We're climbing. I like it. Let's
Get
keep
us
going.
to 300, and some of us will go home and celebrate. So we're really excited. Oh, we got another big gift. Thank you to Beth and Brian Grossman.
Wow.
$50,000.
Another $50,000 donation. That is huge. That's going to change a lot of lives, and that's going to create a better future for us all. We can't thank you enough. Like, from the bottom of our hearts, like every amount matters, but big donations like that from the Grossmans and from the Simons, like, those make a big impact, and we appreciate it so much.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch the kids grow, and I think I have the privilege of seeing it when I come in the club every day, and some of the folks supporting us tonight don't get to see the growth, but I was joking about getting to teach Jack how to play basketball.
Yeah.
I tell you, he came to us as a sixth grader, and because at the time California didn't have robust low-income sports programs, he didn't know how to play basketball. And that might seem very small to a lot of us, but we were like, you know what? These kids need a organized sports program.
Yes.
And Jack was one of the first ones to take advantage of it, and it was that hook that had him stay with us. He actually started in one club, ended up being a member of 3 other clubs as his family moved around the peninsula, because that's what we can provide to families. And so shout out to Jack. I hope you're watching. I loved your glasses. I need to step my glasses game up. I'm not as young as Jack, so.
You can get that swag.
I can get the line. I like that at the top.
It's
I don't know
clean.
about the hair.
It's
That's
clean.
the next one, right? So I just think that the energy the kids bring to is infectious because they have optimism.
That's right.
And it's what we need, right? And all of those speeches tonight, you heard kids telling you how they were going to fix things.
Yes.
Right? They talked about a problem, but they also talked about how they were already part of fixing it as high school students.
Right. It's amazing.
How many of us were really working on huge problems as high school students?
No.
And the club is the place where they come to do that, where they say, hey, I want to work on this. And we say, you know what? We're going to find a mentor for you. We're going to find a curriculum for you. We're going to invest in what you want to invest in. But we're also going to make you write about this in your college essay.
Right.
So that you can stay on the right track, right?
Yeah. It's incredible just thinking about the situations that a lot of these kids grow up in, right? And the background and their communities that they're kind of growing up in. It's amazing and astounding to see the young, like, adults that they are becoming. Like, they're better than many adults that I currently know, right? And that's no knock on anyone here. I'm just saying in general. Like, it's just amazing to see such young kids. Because I just remember when I was a high school kid, and I didn't have that vision or that ambition as much as a lot of these kids do. And just these 3 are just the tip of the iceberg of watching, what our young generations are capable of doing and becoming with the help of us.
Yeah, so we have more donations coming in. We're kind of stuck at the 218,000 mark, and we'd love to get to that 300,000 mark if folks can dig deep. I think you had a chance to check out something else we do. We say here, kids first, right? So we showed you the kids that come out of the club. We talked about how we've nurtured them. Dayanara has been with us since the 2nd grade. She's now a freshman in college. We're still supporting her. But we also, during the pandemic, shifted to food bank.
Yes.
Which was not part of our core mission in the past. And we served 500 families a week with the food bank. And you got to volunteer. What did you see at the food bank?
Yeah, so I have had the opportunity to volunteer at a couple food deliveries. We had a food service here at Bayshore that I came and we delivered to 400 local families.
Wow.
And the sheer sight of seeing all those cars lined up, waiting for the food that we had delivered by, the food bank. It's heartbreaking and it's eye-opening, really. It's just something that, I don't see on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
But being able to go back and experience this and see all these families that we're able to support and able to help, it just opens your eyes to the fact that, like, the world is much bigger than, my own house, the 4 walls that I live within. And it's a great opportunity for me to give back, and eventually and hopefully soon, once things kind of clear up a little bit, I'll get my kids out there.
Yeah, we would love to see your kids. And I want to thank everyone watching tonight that also has volunteered at our food bank, both in San Mateo and Daly City. We're up to about $22,000, and we want to really push for this $300,000 mark, because I think when you think about an organization, that yes, we're working on academic success, good character and leadership and healthy lifestyles, but when the community needed us most, we shifted to become a full food pantry.
Yes.
You know, that's just who we always are going to be with the support of everyone out there tonight. And if we can reach our $300,000 goal, it's more likely that we can staff those food pantries, because even though volunteers came, that's still our dedicated youth developers who spend their mornings organizing and in a lot of cases putting the food in people's cars, right? Especially during the surge when it was harder for people to volunteer, frankly.
Yeah.
And so I think that we are doing this for our kids, for our community. And I think this is a great show of strength from our combined community.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we're here in Daly City, we have clubhouses in Millbrae and San Mateo, and we're getting all this love from Hillsborough, Burlingame, some people from San Francisco, further down the peninsula. That's what a real community looks like. It's everybody knowing that we need each other, right?
That's right. It takes all of us, right? It's just not, the city of San Mateo. It's all of us. Those are our neighbors. They're in our backyard. We see them in the grocery store. We see them walking down the street. Chambers, I want to say thank you. I appreciate your donation. I see you up there. Crisp, I hope, Nicholas, you had a good basketball practice today. And Vince, you got to get us right on Sunday for flag football. So I appreciate you guys. Vanessa, hello to you too.
I see Lyndon and Layla came through for you. So I just want to call that out. Great job. Made Dad proud. Thank you, Jennifer Mercado, for the donation. David Gold, thank you so much for the donation. We're really trying to get to this $300,000 mark. I think what we're going to talk about is what are we going to do with the money? So one of the things that kind of came up, Amy mentioned in her speech, but a lot of our kids have fallen pretty far behind.
Yeah.
Even though we were open in the middle of the pandemic, we had kids in the building before there was a vaccination. It's been hard to replicate in-school learning. And so we're going to have to put in double effort in the spring and summer with our summer camps. And that's something that we're really trying to get to this $300,000 mark for. This is a free, high-quality summer camp. We've done it every summer, but this year, the need is even greater than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Because our school partners are just sharing with us that kids are not okay. I don't know how else to say it. Kids aren't okay. And it's been tough to have a learning environment in a lot of the public schools we support.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine, what the kids are going through. Obviously, I am a parent, and I've dealt with, the remote learning for my two kids.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, my wife and I are around to kind of help them along the way, right? But in so many other situations, these kids are at home without a computer, so they can't really do the remote learning, or they're at home and they don't understand something. They don't have anyone there to kind of talk to, right? And so we need to get this money so that we can get, these kids caught up, give them a fair fighting chance, as well as help open up our club.
Yeah, so please text Mid-Pen to 41444. Help us get to the $300,000 mark so we can serve more kids.
Yes.
Because in the county, the need has grown exponentially. There was already a waiting list for our services. There was already a waiting list for districts wanting us to maybe open more clubs. And that's what we're going to use this money for. So we're kind of at this $232,000 mark. And if, we could just get more donors to get us to that $300,000 mark, that would be amazing and really honor the bravery, like you said, of the youth that came out to speak tonight. And we're really excited to be able to honor them with a scholarship tonight as well.
No, that's right. And it's, we all know it's not easy to get in front of a crowd and especially share some personal stories like they did. So, we're inching closer and closer to our goal. We're at 232,000 right now. If you can find it in you, please keep giving more. If you are capable of it, please give as much as you can just to help the kids within our community.
Thank you, Erica Colson. Thank you, Terry and Bill Butler, for the donations. We're really, really excited. We're at the $237,000, and we're just trying to push it up. So text Mid-Pen, MIDPEN, to 41444 to make your donation, and really let the kids know that you're here to support them through this really unheard of time.
That's right.
And we're here to give hope to this generation, and I think you've seen the leading edge of that generation. They're ready. They want to do better, right? And so there's a lot of little ones following them.
That's right.
Right. We have teens in our program, but we also have kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade.
I won't stop because 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th, we go all ages. And that's something that a lot of programs don't do. It's really hard to provide services for that many age brackets.
Yeah.
And our staff really dig deep to be creative and support. You're supporting a 19-year-old in some cases, all the way down to a 6-year-old.
All right. That's not an easy job. It's not an easy feat to do, but our staff is amazing here. And they continue to come in every single day, and they're doing the groundwork. They're doing amazing things. They're going to keep on going with the support of us. We got to keep going. We got to keep climbing up. We're getting closer and closer, but we're not there yet. Please keep going. I wanted to ask you, Evan, real quick. Are you ready to be dad?
I am ready because I know that there's organizations like this that I'm gonna lean on. I mean, that's just the honest answer. And I'm excited to meet the little guy, and I'm excited to bring him to the club, frankly.
That's right.
And so I'm gonna ask you for inspiration. Tell me what to do, right? Shout out my mom somewhere. She's got us a beautiful baby blanket she's on. And so it's just really wonderful to see it and to live in a community where we are being that village that's raising a child.
That's right. And it definitely takes a village.
So we're at 39,000. We're almost there. And we're going to let thank yous go out now for all of our sponsors.
Thanks, Danny and Evan, and good evening. My name is Tony Perazzo, and I'm a board member of the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club. You've heard from our 3 amazing teams. While we await the results from our judges, I'd like to take a moment on behalf of the board to thank everyone who helps us every day in delivering the hope and impact we're speaking about tonight. Thank you to the sponsors of tonight's celebration for your leadership gifts and for investing in our mission and in our event. Your sponsorship is integral to our ability to serve our community and to improve the quality of life for our neighbors. Our premier sponsors are Molly and Chris Dillon, Liz and Greg Vaughn, Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management, Grant Thornton, Louisa and Tom Shields, Kachit Petrie and McCarthy, Donna and Eric Colson, Kristen and Craig Donato, Verna Quo and Josh Levenberg, Woodstock, and Aaron and Pat Callahan. We are deeply grateful to the continued support from our foundation partners. The aligned values shared by the club and our foundations mean that we're together committed to strengthening families and building stronger and safer communities. Our foundation partners help us provide communities with stability and access to much needed resources to thrive. Our longest serving patrons of the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club, Rita and Bob DeLue. Now, from the DeLue Clubhouse in Daly City to the founding and continued support of the Youth of the Year Scholarship Funds, your valued patronage with your continued joy helps to keep our members successful. Thank you for always being a champion of the kids. You're a hero, Bob. Now, to our kids and their bravery, and our parents and families for their continued trust, we work in partnership with you, and our only goal is to watch your kids thrive, be safe and healthy. Also, a huge thank you to all of our community volunteers and partners, from food distribution to Halloween treat bags, tutors, summer helpers, and bicycle repairs. You've all brought passion to helping those who need an extra hand. We applaud you, and we're grateful to you for your commitment to making our community a better place for all of us. And to our esteemed judges, Donna Colson, Sarah Maloney, Kate Phillips, and Hardeep Walia, thank you so much for taking the time to diligently review the Youth of the Year applications. We know how much work goes into evaluating these amazing teams, so we thank you for your care and dedication. And thank you to the Youth of the Year event team chairs, Christy Cohen and Tracy Lane, who worked with our development team to organize and put together tonight's event. Your entire staff had a part to play in tonight's event, and what you're seeing tonight is a culmination of years of hard work. We are and will always be grateful to our exemplary staff for constantly going above and beyond to serve our kids. And finally, a big thank you to all of you watching tonight. The teams you just saw speak so eloquently and passionately are the future of San Mateo County. Our teens and their families are passionate about wanting to maximize their potential and strive towards having a great future. And when we invest in our kids and community, we're actively guiding the course of our futures in San Mateo County. And by watching tonight, you're exemplifying what makes our community so special. We at the Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Clubs have been here for almost 70 years helping the kids of San Mateo County who need us most. And you have our word that we are here to continue this great work. So thank you.
Congratulations, Amy, for being our 2022 Mid-Peninsula Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year. Here is your plaque. Congratulations. And Kevin and Lisa Cullinane are here to present you with the scholarship check from Bob and Rita DeLue.
Congratulations. Congratulations. We want to shout out to Bob and Rita. We know you're watching. We really appreciate your support. I know their family appreciates it, and I know the club appreciates it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this year. We will see you again next year.